Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Week 8 League of Legends Fantasy Football matchup. I have a special guest with me here today.
So dumb.
Hello.
Yep, that's Alex. Alex
Alex.
is gonna be giving her opinions on who's gonna win this week. I'm actually not gonna say who's gonna win. I'm gonna let Alex decide who's
shit.
gonna win based on what I say, probably, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with the first matchup. Actually, no, we got to start with shout out of the week. Brett was top scorer this week, beat out Mirza for top scorer. They played each other. That was quite hilarious. The top two scorers played each other. Doesn't happen very often, but it happens. Shit happens. Mirza's still sad about it, I bet. This is me pouring salt and vinegar into the wounds. Damn. All right. Started off with the week 1 matchup. Everybody's been waiting for this toilet bowl matchup between Eddie and I. I know everyone's been just waiting for this bad boy to go down. So we got Trevor Lawrence versus Sam Howell. We're going to give that to Trevor Lawrence, even if he has one good leg. He's better than Sam Howell with 2 good legs and juiced up on cocaine. I don't know. You would need a buff to play at Trevor Lawrence's level at this point. We got Kareem Hunt versus Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is just a beast. So I got to give him that matchup. Kareem Hunt doesn't have to deal with Jerome Ford, but he's also not healthy. So has to deal with that. Ramondre versus Damian Pierce. As much as I like Ramondre, and I like Damian Pierce, these 2 running backs have been far from impressive. So they might both give us goosers. Who knows? You know what I mean? They'll probably just be a wash. So they'll probably get the same amount of points. Calvin Ridley versus Devontae Smith. Give me Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is going against the Commanders. Calvin Ridley has to go against a good Pittsburgh defense. McLaurin versus Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is a way better receiver than Scary Terry. And he gets to go against the Giants. Darren Waller versus Kelsey. Give me Taylor Swift. Jahan Solo versus Zay Jones. Zay Jones is definitely the better receiver when he's healthy. The only thing I got going for me is that Jahan Dotson is healthy. Puka Nukuku versus Justice Hill. Give me Nukuku any day of the week. Perdonius versus Wilson. It's gotta be Purdy. Purdy's just on a better team. Pittsburgh defense versus Eagles defense. Pittsburgh has to go against Trevor Lawrence and the gang, so probably won't put up as many points as the Eagles, who get to go against the Commanders. So who do you think is going to win week 1, Alex? Huh?
To be completely unbiased, just objectively who I think is going to win after what you said, Kevin's coming out on top.
That's just a lie. All right, Eddie. Eddie's winning this week. That one doesn't count because Alex is being biased. All right. Let's go to the second matchup. We got Moise versus Infi. This is I like the matchups this week. There's a lot of fun matchups, like personality wise and just in terms of like where people stand. There's a lot of good ones. So we got Mirza versus Infi, starting off with Lamar Jackson versus Stafford. I mean, Stafford gets to go against Dallas. Lamar Jackson gets to go against Arizona. Lamar Jackson is also a running back. Yeah, he's a running back. More than a QB. So he's going to score a lot of points, more than likely. Mustard versus Swift. Swift gets to go against the Commanders. Mustard gets to go against New England. He's also dealing with an injury and didn't practice. That's not a good sign. If he practices this week, though, he's probably good. But give me Swift in that matchup. Gibson versus JT. JT by 18 years. Light years, you know what I mean? I don't know. Something like that. Jalen Waller versus T. Higgins. Give me Waddle if he's healthy. But more than likely he's not going to be fully healthy. He was limited with a back problem. Back issues for a receiver are actually a big deal. A lot bigger deal than people realize. So I'm going to actually have to give that to Higgins. Babante Adams versus Tyreek Hill. Give me Tyreek Hill. He's just, this year he's just unmatched. It's hard to compete, but it doesn't mean Davante Adams can't score the same amount of points each week. He just has a worse team. So the chances of that happening aren't that high. We got Andrews versus Kittle. We got, this is a good tight end matchup, honestly, but Andrews is definitely the better fantasy tight end, but Kittle's a better actual tight end. Like, he does more for the team than just catch the ball. And then we got Mike Evans versus Judy. I really like Mike Evans, but for some reason I have a feeling that Judy's about to pop off in the Kansas City matchup. He's going to be that guy. Gus Bus versus Najee. Gonna have to go with the Bus just because he gets to go against Arizona. We got Uncle Rico versus Love. Give me Uncle Rico. The only thing Jordan Love has going for him is that he's the 3rd gen Bears owner, according to Infi. But if that's all he has going for him, then good for him, you know? All right, and then we got Roquan versus Miami. Both good defense matchups for the week. They're both projected at 13, but give me Roquan. So who do you think? Who do you think is going to win this matchup?
Oh God.
It's too even.
It seems like it's gonna be very close. Because I didn't know that Waddle had a back injury. But I might lean a little bit more towards Infi winning.
So you're going with the upset win.
I think
Dang,
so.
Mirza. It's like that.
But damn, Lamar Jackson pops off every week.
Nah, it's too late. It's too late. You locked in.
That's fine.
All right, 3rd matchup. We're going to Brownie versus Timothy himself. First, we got Tua Tagovailoa, aka 2 for Tua, aka Mr. Concussion Protocol. We got, I honestly gonna go with Herbert in this matchup just because he gets to go against Chicago.
No.
It's just, honestly, it is that simple to me. And then we got Rashad White versus Bijan Robinson. Assuming Bijan doesn't have to deal with that headache or whatever it was, then I'm going to take Bijan in that matchup, to be honest. Then we got James Cook versus Pacheco.
There's a bread there, Pacheco. There's a bread.
Bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wheat bread.
Okay, thanks.
Just like that, Pacheco is breaded. So yeah, give me Pacheco because he stays breaded for real. And then we got Drake London versus Olave.
Yeah.
This is a tough one because Olave might actually miss a game if he gets penalized somehow.
Oh yeah, you got arrested.
So TBD on this matchup, but it might be an automatic to London. So maybe he has somebody on the bench to play. I doubt Chris Olave faces any suspension time, but if he does, I'd be perplexed because many players have done way worse and served no time. So if he gets suspended for speeding and he was sober and complied with the cops, I would go nuts. I would freak out.
Yeah.
Cooper Cup versus DK Metcalfe. Seems like his questionable tag is away. Practices fully. That's a good sign, but doesn't matter. Cooper Cup, if that's all you need to know. He gets to go against Dallas, but it doesn't matter. It's Cooper Cup. You play him, and he's a top 3 receiver. DK Metcalf, and on his best day, is not even. Yeah, he's ranked number 45 receiver this year. He's really struggling. Really talented. Don't get me wrong. He's just struggling to bring real fantasy value. Kincaid versus Knox. Knox has to be replaced, so he's gonna have to find somebody off the waiver for that matchup. But Dalton Kincaid has been pretty promising. You gotta hand to the guy. Pollard versus Rashid Rice. Not Rashid. Rashi. Give me Pollard just because he's the main running back on the Dallas Cowboys, and he's pretty solid. I like Rashi Rice, but Tony Pollard is a beast. So he wins that flex position matchup. Cooper versus Thomas. Amari Cooper doesn't have a quarterback that's healthy or good. So gonna have to give that to Michael Thomas. And then we got Bryce Young versus Wilson. Honestly, the Houston defense is a little bit better than people expect. And Bryce Young has been making many mistakes throughout the year. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Broncos country. Let's ride. Niners versus Atlanta. Falcons get to go against Tennessee, and they're a pretty good defense. So we're going to have to go with the Falcons. I like the Niners D overall. I think they're much better, but they have to go against Joe Burrow, so you have to take that into account. Alex, thoughts?
I have a strange feeling that Tim won't be able to get a tight end in time, because if he keeps Knox on there, then that locks that position, right? Because he plays tomorrow.
Yep. He does play tomorrow.
So I'm thinking Brownie's got it. For this
Damn.
one.
Tim, you hear that? Alex is calling you out and saying you're not a good manager.
He doesn't have a tight end to replace.
Ooh.
Mr. Fryermuth.
Ryan,
Is he on IR?
he's on IR, yeah. So he needs to replace. So you're saying Brownie is going to go for the W here.
I think so.
All right. You heard it here, Tim. All right, next matchup. We got Alex Kaplan versus Stickman. Now, this is an interesting matchup. Both really strong teams, projected very high this week. Got Jared Goff versus Josh Almighty himself. Josh Allen is hurt, but that didn't stop him last week from absolutely dooking on the other team. So I'm going to go with Allen. I think Jared Goff has been improving as a QB. So that's saying a lot coming from me. But I don't think he's going to outscore Josh Allen. On top of that, I think the Raiders just got shit on by a really bad team, aka the Bears, and they're going to really reevaluate their lives and play to the level of Detroit next week. They're going to play hard. It's going to be a well-fought game. I think it's going to be surprising for most people watching that game. And then we got Saquonius Barkles versus Mixon, aka Cuisine Art Mixon. I almost want to give him the win just for the nickname, but I have to give it to Barkles. Travis Etienne versus Derrick Henry. The only reason I'm going to give Etienne the slight in this position is because I think they're trying to keep Derrick Henry healthy. It seems like the Titans are throwing in the towel for the year, and I think they want to trade away Derrick Henry to another team so that they have draft capital, which is the only reason why I think Etienne will outscore people like Derrick Henry from a week-to-week basis from here on out. Derrick Henry had a pretty good start, and he has increased his buy value. So hopefully he gets put to another team that can actually use him to his full ability. So I'm expecting like a 50-50 split with Tyjae Spears for Henry. We got that Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Thielen. That I just don't understand what Sleeper's doing, man. Like, Thielen is number 7 receiver. Amon-Ra is a number 9 receiver. They're not that far apart, but the projections are way far apart. Like a whole 3 points far apart.
Yeah.
That to me makes no sense. That's disrespectful to Thielen and what he's been doing this season.
He's been putting up points.
And I'm not, yeah, and I'm not saying Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't playing well. He's clearly playing well. But to say that like Thielen couldn't outscore Amon-Ra is preposterous. They should be at least like in the same ballpark of projection, like both at 15. That's all I'm saying. Kirk versus Lockett, that's a coin flip. Take a shot in the dark. I couldn't choose between those two. They're both kind of streaky players. Kirk has been playing really hot, but I think he's going to regress back to his median sooner rather than later. Then we got Laporta versus Goddard. I like Laporta, but I like Goddard's matchup against the Commanders. So I'm going Goddard. Godwin versus Pickens. Godwin is questionable with a neck injury.
Oh, God.
Honestly, either way, would just give me Pickens. I think with Deontay coming back, everyone thought it would hurt Pickens, but having 2 good receivers on your team never hurts you. I never understood that argument. That argument actually makes me mad, because if there's another person who's really good on the other side of the field of you, that actually makes you more open because they have to focus attention over there as well. And I hate when people are like, oh, he's going to do so much better because so-and-so is gone. But I think for the most part, that player is going to do worse. And statistically, it shows they're probably going to do worse. And then we got Jones versus Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen by like two galaxies away, to be honest. Aaron Jones is fine, but he's been dealing with injury all year and just hasn't been the same player because of it. And that's all there is to it. Baker Mayfield versus Burrow. Burrow has to go against the Niners defense, so his projection is crazy high, in my opinion. Like 25 points is crazy high. I do like Baker Mayfield in his matchup because he gets to go against a hurt Buffalo defense. I think Baker Mayfield has been playing pretty well this season, and I think he might surprise us on Thursday. We got the Chiefs versus the Go Gatorsville University. Defense. I like the Chiefs defense. They're more talented, and they get to go against Denver. So Russell Wilson's bound to get sacked once or twice and then throw a pick or fumble the ball. It's just been a theme for him this season. And then the Jags get to go against Pittsburgh, but as long as Pickett protects the ball somewhat, it should be fine. What you think, Alex? This is a pretty close matchup, honestly.
Yeah. I should be out here supporting my fellow Alexes, but I'm about to be 0 for 2 because I think Adam might come through and win this one this week.
I don't know. It seems like you just want to be the best Alex, and at this point, I think you're just picking against all the Alexes on purpose.
It's gonna be crazy when we get to my matchup.
This is gonna be crazy. All right. I agree with you here, Stickman. All right, let's get to the next matchup. We got Ronsford Sausage Parters versus K Minor Titties. The two best names just battling out against each other. They're both 5-2, so they're both good teams. Both have great team names. Just gotta love that. Gotta love that energy.
Yeah.
And we got CJ Stroud projected higher than Kirk Cousins. The fact that Kirk Cousins is projected lower than CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud. I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud. But to project him 2 points lower is madness, because he just did so well against the 49ers defense, which is a way better defense than Green Bay. Not to mention, this is a divisional matchup. Eddie,
Filming.
Dude.
I'm filming right now.
Filming what?
My video.
School?
No.
For
For
football.
League of Legends fantasy football.
Oh, what?
We're,
Oh,
we're
the
almost
the
done.
videos
We're
that-
almost
okay,
done
okay,
doing
okay.
commentary.
Oh, the video that you put out every. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Well, Eddie was, yeah, that's Eddie. Say hello to Eddie, guys. All right. Back to what I was saying. Divisional matchup for Kirk Cousins. So his projection definitely should be a little bit higher just because of that. And he just came off a super hot game after a primetime matchup that everybody thought he was going to lose. He's riding hot right now. And then we got Breece Hall versus McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey's obviously projected higher for great reason. But I think Breece Hall is also going to let loose. I think without the snap count and after a bye, so him being another week removed from his previous injury and him looking pretty solid regardless of that, I think this running back matchup is going to be a lot closer than the projections say. Although McCaffrey can go off for 50 and then boat race the dude, but Breece Hall could also drop 30 to 40. He's done it before. David Montgomery versus Foreman. Let's not lie to ourselves and think that Foreman's going to have a 3 TD game again. He is playing for the Bears, so chances of him getting a back-to-back 3 TD game, not very high. But David Montgomery plays for the Lions, who has a top O-line, so his chances of actually repeating good games are much higher. And then we got AJ Brown versus Stephon Diggs. That's a good matchup. That would be a wash in my opinion. They're just two really talented receivers that I have rated right next to each other in my mind, and I would interchange between the two depending on the matchup. So based on the matchup, I guess AJ Brown gets to go against the Commanders, but Buccaneers defense isn't as scary as they once were, so it's a tough one. Jackson Smith and Jigba has to go against the Browns defense. I wouldn't play in Jigba if considering that Metcalf is back. I would wait and see what his usage looks like this week as well. The reason why he was such a good play last week is because Metcalf sat and he was going against a bad defense. Now he's going against a good defense, and one of the receivers that he fights for snaps with is back. Addison also just had a blow-up week with Kirk Cousins, so I'm expecting them to focus the ball in his direction because he did so well with the volume that I'm expecting that's going to be their game plan until Justin Jefferson comes back. TJ Hawkinson versus Kyle Pitts. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hawkinson with one leg definitely still better.
What?
Kyle Pitts is booty.
Nice.
And then Zay Flowers versus Gibbs. Gibbs' projection is inflated to shit. If David Montgomery plays, it should go down. Zay Flowers is the WR1 on their team, so he has that role pretty much solidified for him. Reed versus Pittman. I wouldn't play Reed just because Watson's back. Dobbs is still healthy. He's the third or fourth receiver on the field pretty much. And I'm just going to say it. Love has got he's got too many mouths to feed on his team. And Reed you'd be really looking for like a big spike week for the guy in order to produce. So I'll take Pittman in that matchup. Pittman's just an all-around better receiver. Uncle Rico seems to have a good connection with him, so that's good. Hurts is projected at 29. That's ridiculous. So Yeah, give me Hurts in that matchup versus Dobbs. Not really a question. It's just Hurts has a lot of touchdown upside. And then we got the Bills defense versus Seattle. Seattle's defense is complete and they're looking good. So I like their defense, especially since they get to go against the Browns defense. Or not defense, the Browns offense. Sorry. And the Bills have to go against a pretty solid Tampa Bay offense. And they're pretty decimated from a health perspective. So they're projected 50-50.
Yeah. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna lean on the side of Came on her TDs.
Because of McCaffrey.
I think yes, because of McCaffrey, because of Cousins.
Just another bias, guys.
He has Jalen Hurts, who is on fire, but then you said Seattle has they have a full defense against the Browns. You know, I'm weighing multiple things here. I think Came on her TDs.
Okay.
Will come out on top.
All right.
Probably close. Another close one though.
Nice. I like that. All right, now to move on to the key matchup here. Shisui Sushi versus Mami Mirza. This is definitely going to be the highlighted match of the week.
I waited 8 weeks to post the girl fight.
This is the
song.
That's going to be the thumbnail, and then I'm going to get a picture of both of you. All right, so let's start with the QB matchup, and I don't think we even need to discuss the QB matchup. I think everybody knows Mahomes should probably outscore Daniel Jones, especially since he has to go against the Jets. Anything can happen in fantasy football, but just the odds are definitely in Mahomes' favor. Kenneth Walker versus Eckler. Walker apparently didn't practice, dealing with a calf issue, but I still like Walker over Eckler, even though Eckler gets to go in Chicago. Just Eckler hasn't looked that good since coming back. That's pretty much it. Jacobs over Madison. Madison is booty flakes in my mind. I just can't get over Madison. I think it's time for Cam Akers to take over that backfield. We got Curtis Samuel versus Rashid Shaheed. I like Shaheed. I'm sorry, Alex. Shaheed's a better flex or receiver in my mind. Just in my mind. Projections aren't that far off from each other. And then we got Jukes versus DJ Moore. I'm gonna go with DJ Moore. Absolute bias there. And then we got Ingram versus Jonnu Smith. Evan Ingram for sure. The team definitely just weighs on him a little bit more than the Falcons weigh on Jonnu Smith, and that's just a product of their system. Reynolds versus Palmer. Palmer gets the edge, but your bench has people on it that you could flip in, probably, if you decide to flip somebody in between Curtis or Reynolds, or you have CeeDee Lamb and stuff down here. And then Mami Mirza also has Dak Prescott and Jamar Chase on the bench. So I think once you guys flip things around, the matchup will look closer. But let's go to the Jacoby Myers versus Jaleel McLaughlin matchup. I like Jacoby Myers more, just for the simple fact that Jaleel McLaughlin's in a three-back committee, so they have to share a lot of snaps on an offense that doesn't score that much to begin with. So it's tough to want that player over the other, who pretty much plays the whole entire game. 94% snaps, target share is pretty nice for Jacoby. Can't hate on it, that's for sure. Geno Smith versus, I'm assuming, would be Dak Prescott. I can't go with Dak. I can't. I'll go with Geno Smith there. And then we'll go with the Jets defense just because they get to go against the Giants. Cleveland's an awesome defense, but they have to go against a better offense than the Jets do. So I'll pick who I think is winning this week.
Whoa.
Forever.
And I'm going to go with Alex because I'm a true fan of the Alexes. I got all the other Alexes back as well.
Yeah, but Mommy Mers has got a baby buff.
That's true. Baby buff, but it's absolutely canceled out by the Madison debuff.
Maybe we can play mid, but we should probably
Plus the Dak
check our
debuff.
refreshers first before we do anything.
So yeah, that is the end of the week 8 matchups in the League of Legends. And I hope everybody has a good fantasy weekend. I'm hoping that we just get more good games this weekend and we don't have to deal with too many injuries. The beginning of the season kind of sucked because of it, but it's been pretty great. Have anything to say, Alex? You say?
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, of course. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.